I have 8 o'clock here, so we're going to get started. Thank you everyone who's on the call tonight. Hopefully you are here for the Long Distance Running Pre-Competition Webinar. As a reminder, this will be at Fall Sports Festival coming up in less than 2 weeks here. It's going to be myself along with Steve chiming in here and Ron, who is our venue director. So thank you all for joining tonight. As a reminder, this will be recorded and it will be posted to the coach's resource page for you to access at your convenience. Tonight we'll be covering overall event information after some introductions here, which we briefly have covered. Happy with that. We'll jump into the schedule, the entries, different events that will be taking place at Mount St. Mary's, some miscellaneous, both questions and common clarifications that will need to be made before the event, and we'll follow up with any questions along the way. If you have any, please feel free to raise your hand. We'll get to those. And there's also a question box that you can use.
And this is Steve Bennett. Just the overall event schedule. Again, delegation registration will occur at 7:30 to 8:30. That's where you as coaches for long distance running will report to the upper level of the main sports building there, the Knott Arena. And in the Horning Hospitality Suite, you can grab your packet for your team. Then you can report directly down to the main basketball arena where the opening ceremonies will take place, and then leading into the powerlifting competition. The opening ceremony will start promptly at 9 a.m. And then once the opening ceremony is concluded, we will dismiss all the competitors by sport, and then you'll report down to the long distance running venue. Family hospitalities will be open and available from 10 to 4 in the main Knott Arena, right across the hallway from where the opening ceremonies will take place. And again, once the divisions are done for long distance running, you'll report to the awards area, which is in the pavilion, same as it was last year, right near the start and finish line for long distance running. Again, we talked about delegation registration with picking up your packets. No, at that time, we would also like you to report any scratches that you're aware of at that time. And if any others do become, or you become aware of any others after you've checked in, you can report those at the start and finish line for long distance running. Lunch and food services, we've sent out the information to you guys as coaches. You filled out the requests and the orders that you've made for your competitors and yourselves. We look to deliver those lunches to the different venues between 11 and 12:30. We will let you know when they arrive, so please don't come up to Ron or Ryan or anybody down and say, hey, it's 11 o'clock, where are the lunches? They will arrive between 11 and 12:30, so just be patient, and again, we will let you know when they arrive. There will be, it says it's anticipated that concessions will be available. We have just confirmed that concessions will not be available at Mount St. Mary's. So please let your families and other spectators know that there will not be concessions available at the Fall Sports Fest. There will be a few snacks in the family hospitality area, but that's for family spectators only. That's not for any official registered delegation members. So again, we just want to make sure everyone's aware of that. The overall event guide for the Fall Sports Fest was sent out last week to the area directors and area directors support. It's also available on our coach's resource page, which we will touch on in a little bit later on the slides. The opening ceremony. If you have any individuals that you as a coach would like to nominate to carry in the banner during the opening ceremony for your county program, please work with your area directors. They're submitting those names to me. But if you have anyone you would not like to nominate, don't hesitate to pass that through to your area director. They will make the final determination of who they want to move forward to represent the county. If you are lucky enough to have anyone carry in the banner, know that you need to let them know they must report by 8:30 in the staging area for opening ceremony. That's right across the hallway where the family hospitality area is from the main gymnasium. That's where we stage those athletes or partners who are carrying in the banner, get them ready, give them a little bit of instruction, and then once that time comes during the opening ceremony, they'll parade in through the main arena. If you have individuals who have been selected to carry in the banner and they're not there by 8:30, we will not proceed with them in the opening ceremony. Several reasons for that. If there are any changes, we can accommodate those if people report by 8:30. The main issue is we need to get those up to the MCs, confirm who's there, who's not, if there's any changes, and make those changes accordingly. Now 8:30, we'll give you a 2-minute buffer zone, if you will, but know that that's really important to get those individuals there on time. If there's nobody there at that time, the county will obviously be recognized during the opening ceremony, but the banner and the banner carriers will not be able to participate in the opening ceremony. The overall layout of the venue in Mount St. Mary's has not changed for long distance running, other than we may do a couple of course adjustments, but the main thing is right here. This is the main knot arena. That's where the opening ceremony will take place. That's also where the control center is, where you check in, get your packets, and report any scratches. We also want to make note, those of you, you'll see the tennis competition venue as you walk in. Flag football is down in this area. And distance running, again, will be right near that pavilion down on College Lane. Please let everyone know to park in the parking area. We've had individuals in the past come down this road, hit College Lane, and go down there to park. That will be blocked off. As you well know, in years past, and we anticipate this year that there will be the long-distance running courses will be right up adjacent to College Lane coming down, so to prevent any possible scenarios that we don't want to talk about, that lane and that road will be shut off. So again, just let everyone know they need to park up in the general parking area. Family hospitality, we talked about that, where that will be located for those of you at the university. There's also family hospitality at the cycling venue down at Fort Ritchie. And again, they'll have some general information about family services and that type of thing. And again, the snacks that are intended for only family members who are there as spectators, not part of the delegation. We have an evaluation survey that you'll be sent. We really need your feedback as coaches, and to share that with any family members, any volunteers that are with your delegation, any athletes, any partners. The more feedback we receive, the better we can be prepared for next year's competition. If there's any tweaks we need to make, or if there's things that you really liked, let us know, both constructive criticism as well as things that you thought went well, so we can continue to keep that in the works for the event planning for next year.
Thank you, Steve. Jump into the schedule here. At 8 a.m., the courses will be open for inspection. I will be doing a walkthrough next week of the course to make sure everything's still all set there, and then final confirmation in the morning by myself along with Ron. But that course will be open for inspection at 8 a.m. The coaches meeting will start exactly at 10. The staging for the 5K will start at 10:20, and then 10 minutes after that it will start, followed up by the 3K at 11, the staging there, and again the 10-minute differential before the start time. Those are both approximate. We try to stay on schedule. I know that Ron has a lot of experience with long-distance running, and I've talked to him a lot. We're going to try to stay on schedule for the whole day here. For 11:25, it'll be the 1,500-meter staging, followed by the start, again 10 minutes after, and that's going to be the same for the 1K. And lunch will be at 12:15. Again, that is an approximate time, anywhere between 11 and 12:30. Those will be distributed. Athletes will get their awards around 12:45, and that's as soon as they are done with their race. Entries. For this year, we have 10 1K entries. Just for those of you who are not super familiar with long-distance running, that'll be anywhere between 4 to 9 minutes for those athletes. The unified teams, we have 4 this year. They're roughly the same. We're looking at 4 to 45 seconds to 7 minutes there. 1,500, 10 entrants, 12 to 17 minutes. We also have 2 unified teams in the 1,500 meter. That'll be 13 to 16 The 3K, we have 5 entries, which will be the second longest of the day, followed by the 5K, which we have 12 entries, and that'll last upwards of 48 minutes. So the counties that we have represented this year will be Howard, Montgomery, and Washington. So thank you guys for coming out.
Ron, I don't know if you're on the line now. If you are, we're talking about the race courses. And again, what we have up on the slide deck right now is the courses that we used in 2018, last year. So Ron, if you're available.
Yep, I am on the, can you hear me? I assume you can. Yeah, I am on the call, Steve, obviously. Yeah, these are the courses that we ran last year. I think we had, the one modification we had last year, and we didn't really find out about it until the day before, was on the far side of the lake, all the way on the left-hand side with the yellow course map. There's a big tree down, and if there's any issues anywhere along the course, we'll find out when we inspect the course. I guess I'm not sure which day Ryan is going to do that. So if there's any issues, the courses may have to be modified for whatever reason, based on conditions of the terrain, obstacles or whatever. But hopefully this year we can run these courses exactly as designed. I think we're going to be a little bit more diligent this year on the close side near the start and finish line, away from the those stands there that for the softball or baseball field, whatever that is there, to to ensure that our runners are not it's clear where we're going to be, where the course is. Our goal this year, I mean, we sort of found out last year, and we sort of realize this every year, that no matter how much chalk or paint that you put on the grass, if there's any kind of dew or glare, it's almost invisible to the athletes and to the course marshals as well. We're going to do our best to have as many cones and mark the course with big orange cones, small orange cones, so that it's more visible. And for the most part, it's just going to be our start and finish lines painted. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to put a whole lot of arrows out on the grass or out on the course. They're just not visible. So what you want your athletes to do is keep the cones for the courses on their immediate left, run around the cones. We'll be running, as we always do, the longest courses first. So as the 5K is completed, we'll have the cones for the 5K brought in to better mark the shorter courses, and so on. So our shortest race, the 1K, will be the last race of the day. That's pretty much it. Again, in addition to the traffic cones, hopefully we'll have lots and lots of mount students and volunteers to help marshal the course. And our goal, again, is to always have the athletes in visual contact with our course marshals, so they can always see the racers coming up. They can see the previous course marshal. So have your athletes be looking for cones and marshals. That second point, the signage with painted arrows, they'll be minimal. I mean, we'll have those at clearly marked spots at the end of the road there when going around the building. But for the most part, we're going to be cones on the course and individual helpers. All our races will be a mass start. So we will run all of even though we'll have our division set, all of our 5K runners will start at the same time, as will all the 3K, 1500, and 1K racers. So there'll essentially be 4 races, as we always do. Okay. Like I said, we'll do a mass start. 2 commands start, racers ready, and the firing of the gun. I think I saw earlier Bob Stack is on the line. Bob will be our starter. Again, Bill Wood, who is our track and field guru, he will be out there early on Saturday morning. What he likes to do on his bike is go over the whole course, each of the courses, and look for any, what he calls pain points on the course, things that we necessarily should be warning our athletes about. And we'll talk about any of those if he comes up with any at the coaches meeting at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. As a reminder, unified races, athletes and partners are to run as a tandem pair. They can touch, but we're looking for the partner or the athlete not pulling or tugging the other, and they must finish within 5 seconds of one another. That's never been an issue in the past, and I suspect it won't be an issue this time either. Okay. Uniform requirements. Please have your athletes in running shoes of some kind. No khakis or denim or cutoff shorts. They should be in athletic pants. I think there's a slide later on about the weather. If it's a little cool, if they need to be wearing sweatpants or athletic, long athletic wear, that's fine too. No, oops, I just lost my.
Ron, you still there?
He may have lost connection, so.
Okay. Hi, folks. This is Mike, and I'll jump in until Ron rejoins us, which will hopefully be shortly. He did mention about the weather. We'll see in a slide in a bit. Right now, now granted, it's almost a week and a half out, but it is having a low of 44 and a high of about 60 that day. So it's going to be fairly cool, if that holds true, fairly cool in the morning. So just be prepared for that. Again, it covers there the jewelry and such. You can wear a wristwatch or another personal timing device. Just notice this with another sport, but we'll point it out here, that athletes' clothing may not have any advertising, no commercial messages, even for non-Special Olympics, not-for-profits. That's all verboten during competition or awards, or actually in the opening ceremony if they're one of the banner carriers as well. Shoes are not required, but certainly highly recommended, since part of the course will be run on gravel and such. And Ron, are you back? Looks like not. Okay. So with the staging, again, there'll be a clerk there to check everybody in. And then once they check in at the time that was designated, about 10 minutes before the start, please stay in that immediate area. So please do, in advance, take care of any bathrooming or other issues, not after they've checked in. Keep in mind, while you may know all your athletes, and heck, Ron and Bill and I may know all your athletes, the clerk who is going to be a volunteer that day doesn't, and he or she can very easily get a little concerned if someone is not there. So please take care of that. So once they check in, they're good to go. Ron, are you back? I'm hearing noises there that it sounds like. Actually, can you go back one? There is one other thing I wanted to be sure we pointed out. That with the bib, make sure it's on the front of the athlete. It makes a big difference in terms of keeping track and so on with the timing. Okay, go ahead. As we noticed, or as I mentioned, the weather there is down below. If you look over on Saturday, the 19th, which is the last column to the right, a low of 44 and a high of 60. So you figure running between, that high is not going to hit until 3 o'clock or so in the afternoon. So on the plus side, again, this far out, no rain is expected or anything like that. But if there is any rain, if it's only rain, we will continue. We run in the rain. Obviously, if it's a torrential downpour, we'll make some judgment calls on that. We have the advantage of having everything started in the vicinity of the pavilion, so that makes it easier to get people out of the weather when they're not running or getting ready for that. Of course, if there is thunder or lightning, move to the pavilion and we'll make a decision at that point. It's a wooden pavilion, so it's not like a tent that would be particularly dangerous in a lightning storm. Go ahead. Steve, did you want to cover this, or you want me to continue with this?
Ryan's got it.
Okay,
Mike, I got it. Thank you.
great.
Ron is back in on this call. Ron, if there's anything else you wanted to add, that feel free to do that now. Ron, I got a notification here that you are back on. Is there anything that you want to add? Ron, maybe you're not back on. All right, we're going to continue on in the miscellaneous section here. In regards to protest, that will be filed by the athlete's coach and the athlete's coach only. Those will not be accepted by parents or any other form that needs to come from the coach. And please do that within 30 minutes of that being posted. Again, that's only from the head coach. Appeals.
Actually, Ryan, I'm sorry,
yes,
one clarification. Track and field is unique in that we follow USATF rules, and they do allow the athlete, it's the only sport that I know of that allows this, for the athlete to file a protest on his or her behalf in addition to the head coach. That's what the second bullet there is. So it can be a great learning experience. I know I personally helped Joe Wu file a protest a couple of years ago, and it was a good, I mean, he didn't win the protest, unfortunately for him, but it was a good experience for him. So that is one difference compared to other sports.
Thank you, Mike, for that. And to clarify, I said this on all my webinars so far, there is nothing wrong with filing a protest. That means that you're standing up for your athletes, which I love to see, and I hope you would do so. So please don't second guess yourself before doing so. There's no problem with that at all. If the appeal is filed within 24 hours in the control center,
Yeah, basically it's if a protest is denied and you feel the need that you want to follow through and file an appeal, don't hesitate to do so. Depending on when the notification gets to you about the protest being denied and you want to move forward with filing an appeal, you can do that there in the control center. If something occurs where you're notified later in the afternoon and you're either had to leave for some reason or whatever else, you can still file an appeal. You can send that to my email address, which is listed there, sbennett@somd.org. And if that does occur, we will convene with the Games Rules Committee and typically have answers out to you within 48 hours of receiving the appeal.
Thank you for that clarification, Steve. In regards to results, they will be posted in the starting area as soon as we can get them up following the race. They will also be up, just like our other events, on the coach's resource page. And again, that's usually within 48 hours. We'd like to get that out to you as soon as we can. In regards to hydration, a single water station will be at the start and the finish area. 3K and 5K races will have access to water also in the transition area near the start and finish. If you have any special needs, please notify me ahead of time of the event. Obviously on event day it can get a little hectic, so please just email me at the email you see right there. I'd love to help you out.
And at this time, we'll look to see if there's any questions that any of you guys have. We also will send out the coach's resource link, but in the meantime, if you simply go to Special Olympics Maryland website, hit on the coach tab, that would be up in the far right, depending on your web access. You hit on coach, there's a drop down, you hit coach resource, and you hit that, and there's long distance running, there's a fall sports fest where the event guide is already up and live, and again, that's where we'll post results. When you go to that coach's resource page, again, it's a great tool that we've instituted, I think, starting at our winter games this past winter. And we've had a lot of good feedback from coaches, a lot of good information. Check it out. A lot of the information can be found there and would prevent you having to send emails and phone calls and all that. Check there first. If you still can't find a question or an answer to the question you have, then you can reach out to us. At the same point, also let us know if there's information that you're looking for that's not on the website. We're constantly receiving feedback from coaches. Hey, can you put this up there? I can't find this. Again, it's a constant live interactive website that we're constantly updating throughout the year. So don't hesitate to reach out if there's something you're looking for that's not there. As we continue to look for any questions, these are the other sports that we offer at Fall Sports Fest and the sports directors who oversee the operations of those, just in case you want to reach out or someone may be addressing a question to you with another sport, as you are a coach. So we know everybody comes to you whether or not it's your sport. So we want to make this information available to you as well.
Okay. And Steve, it looks like Ron may be back with us.
Yeah, I apologize. Since I'm no longer in the sports department, I've completely forgotten how to use a telephone. So I was talking through several slides that only myself and two cats heard. So I apologize to that for those of you on the line. And thank you, Mike, for taking over, and Steve and Ryan as well. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Ron.
A quick question I would ask you, and the answer may be no, but are there any particular challenges or issues that have, you don't need to name names or anything, that have cropped up in the past year or two that folks should be aware of or that we need to address?
No, I think the thing that and I've chatted to Ryan about this as well, is we just need to be pretty clear with our volunteers, whether they're from the Mount or other volunteers, the importance of keeping our athletes on the course and blocking, and blocking, traffic and foot traffic and other things. So, I mean, I think if our athletes keep the cones directly on their left, look for the volunteers for the next spot, to be running to. I mean, I think we'll be handling things pretty smoothly. We do plan to give, I think like you've done in the past, Mike, those hard copy cards to many of our volunteers along the course so they can cheer on our runners at the far reaches of the course when, their legs are dragging a little bit. If they've been running for 20 to 25 minutes, they can be cheered for by name. So, as long as we get out there Friday or Saturday, to inspect the course, look for pain points, we should be in good shape.
Great. Thank you very much, Ron. We'd also like to, at this time, see if there's any questions. I don't see any at this time, but as always, we truly appreciate all the time and dedication that you as coaches have put in. Some of you not just during the long distance running season and the fall season, but throughout the year with either coaching other sports or other support for your local county programs and for the state. Without you guys and your expertise and your training and giving the athletes the opportunity as well as the partners, obviously Special Olympics doesn't happen. So we truly appreciate all of your dedication, expertise, and then giving the athletes this opportunity to showcase their skills to the community and to the all the other spectators that'll be out there at the Fall Sports Festival. So also, if there are questions that come up that you didn't think about tonight or as you get closer to the event, you want to ask, don't hesitate to reach out to Ryan. He will get the answer back to you. And with that being said, we will give you back a half hour of your evening, and we look forward to seeing everyone at Fall Sports Fest. Thank you, and anything you need, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Have a good night, everyone.